Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Igls in Austria. We're just outside the double Olympic city of Innsbruck, nestled in the Tyrol. In a snowy morning, we're getting ready for the second and deciding run, race 6 of the Viessmann FIBT Women's Skeleton World Cup and the European Championships held over from last week in La Plagne in France. Ben Sanford, we have got an epic race on our hands here in Austria.
We sure do. It's such an interesting morning. Some dramatic stuff happening on the track today. Tina Hermann here had a really good first run. Really nice lines down the track. So relaxed on her sled. And it paid at the bottom. She was fast and she's in second place after the first heat. Only
800ths off the leader. We had a very tight top 3 yesterday, and so it is again today. The top 6, in fact, covered by 1800ths of a second. Maria Orlova, fresh off her first ever career win in St. Moritz, lies in second place. She is just 300ths of a second behind our leader.
Yeah, nice run by Maria as well. She didn't race yesterday. A few mistakes down the track, so she can be even faster in the second heat.
And that race leader is the Olympic champion Lizzy Yarnold. Yesterday, a start mishap in the first run left her in 4th place, 1100ths back. She drove through to win it in the second heat, and she leads now. She will be the last girl on the ice defending the lead and looking for her first European Championship win.
Yeah, not the fastest start in the first heat by Lizzy, but she just drove so well and looked so comfortable on the sled, and she picked up all those places and all that time down the track.
So the Olympic champion looking for win number 4 of the season, having won yesterday here in Igls in Austria. And this is the way they line up. Yarnold leads, 700ths back Maria Orlova, 800ths back Tina Hermann. Tie for 4th, Laura Deas and Rose McGrandle. And Janine Flock, who was in the bronze medal position yesterday, 1800ths back, the hometown girl, the last of 6 fighting for just 3 medals. 19 sleds completed the heat. Jane Channell had to go twice after hitting a broom in the track in the first run. Didn't help her though, she was slower in the second, and so she'll be among the first on the ice. Final preparations before we get underway. Slight snow, and that means the jury are going for a little bit of a hurry-up offense, just a 2-minute gap between the sliders. And Ben, the idea there is to try and avoid any deterioration in the weather, curtailing the run before we complete the race.
Yeah, one of the keys when it's snowing is that you want to try and get the race over and done as quickly as possible. You don't want you want the conditions to be the same for everyone, and the thing when it's snowing is that the snow can come and go, and so ideally you try and condense the race and make it happen quickly.
Well, we'll likely have what we had in the first heat, the track being swept after every 3rd athlete, which means that Jaclyn Naracott will get fresh ice. So too will Joska Le Conté, who'll be 4th out of the shed, Lynette Prediger, and so on down the order. So 19 sleds. Jaclyn Naracott was the slowest in the first heat, so she will go first. And Lizzy Yarnold was the fastest in the first heat, so she will go last and defend that lead. Both heats count, and the aggregate time will decide the gold medal and the European champion. Snowy Innsbruck in Austria. We're at the Igls track, getting ready. At the top of the ice is Jaclyn Naracott of Australia, the 24-year-old making her last World Cup start of her rookie season from Brisbane in Queensland, where the temperature is probably only about 35 to 40 degrees higher than it is here today. Martin Haven, Ben Sanford watching the action.
Jaclyn, part of a new Australian setup this season. The AIS in Australia no longer involved in skeleton, and these athletes are out here paying for everything themselves. And you know you love skeleton when you're leaving behind in Australian summer and going to the beach every day to come here and slide down icy tracks in the middle of winter.
Well, her first start was a 5.90. That's a 6.17 getaway. So after racing yesterday, racing again today, a little bit of fatigue in the legs.
Down Kreisel, so important, the skidding there as she came out of Kreisel. It's going to cost her some time through the middle of the track. Exit of 9, oh, bit of a rough exit from 9 and then skidding into 10. So important to get the exit of Kreisel and the exit of 9 on this track. That really allows you to build that speed through the middle of the section of the track.
Speeds are a lot lower than in her first heat. And that means, of course, that she's getting into corners with less pressure and less speed. Everything looks a little different. 56.93. Sigh from coach Brian Voigt. It's not what she wanted. You always want to go a little better if you can, but afraid that is a head in the hands run for her.
Yeah, just a few mistakes there, and she won't be happy with that. Coming out of Kreisel here, you can see her just skidding there, skidding away to the right, and then just using that left foot to try and stabilize and get that line into corner 8. Coming out of corner 9 there, rough exit out of 9, and she's not going to pick up any places with that.
Well, she's got the green and gold, should have the maroon of Queensland on as well, I would have thought there. Next up is Savannah Graybill of the USA. 26-year-old from Denver, Colorado, lives and works in Lake Placid. Coach Tuffy Latour holding the sled. Little bit of light snowfall. It's -5, -6. It's not big, wet flakes. It's kind of crystalline and icy. Okay, so are we now sweeping every sled?
Eine Minute.
Well, the corners, of course, have generally an overhanging lip, and so, and of course the walls are getting on for vertical, so snow doesn't stick there. So they'll be sweeping the straights. I've been told it was a 2-minute gap between the athletes.
Yeah, hitting the snow on the track can really slow you down. Like, you want to be sliding on a clean track, and so although it's rough standing on the start line in the cold, like if you're there and you know they're sweeping the track, that's a good thing to have in the back of your mind, that you know that you're going to get the clearest track possible.
Red light is on, which means the track is not clear for Savannah Graybill. When the green light comes on, there's an audible signal as well.
And then from there, the athlete has 30 seconds to cross the timing eye, and the timing eye isn't on the block, it's 15 meters in front of the block, and so the athlete will push off the block, and they've got 15 meters until they cross that first timing eye and the time starts.
Sunny Brisbane smile from Jaclyn Naracott, our race leader. Savannah Graybill of the USA. Started 5:69 in the first heat. Let's see if her legs have got much left in them this morning. This is like the World Championships, 4 heats in 2 days, 5:87.
And one of the interesting things here, I think, is after the first heat, we have 18 sliders within 1 second of each other. And that's so characteristic of Igls. It's such a tight track, it's so short, the start's so important, and you get such close racing here.
Top 9 were covered by a second in yesterday's overall result, and that might spread it out a little here. 85.5, just a fraction quicker than Jaclyn Naracott.
Savannah just looking, oh, that's a bad exit from Kreisel. It's going to send her late, and it's going to make the exit 9 really difficult.
The speed's not as high for her in the second heat either. But then she had a slower start as well. 1:15.7, just a whisker quicker than Jaclyn Naracott down the bottom, which she had 1:18 in the first heat. So 2 or 3 kilometers an hour slower all the way down. 56.3 compared to 55.3 in the first heat. So it's a full second slower.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough run from Savannah. Just struggling a little bit at the top of the track, and then a really bad middle section. You can see corner 9 here, she goes in too late, and that's going to send her high in the middle of the corner, and then that's going to pick her up on the exit, and she gets picked up and really close, oh, just a little bit on the wood, and then just flopping down and smacking into the track and then into the left-hand wall, and that's not the fast line in corner 9.
Same mistake as in the first heat, and both those girls must be wondering why they got out of bed at 5:30 this morning. 8 o'clock start is pretty brutal. Well, Sophia Griebel of Germany might be in the same boat as well. 11th fastest starter, okay, so-so, but 17th at the bottom really didn't go well for her.
Yeah, she'll be really looking to improve here in the second heat.
Teammate Tina Hermann was only the 16th fastest starter, and she lies 800ths off the lead, so it wasn't about the start with Griebel.
To the long right-hand corner 2, sets you up here for a little bit too much crossover there going into corner 3. Can she get the exit of 3? So 3 looks good into 4.
This takes us back to Lake Placid, the season opener, when Graybill and Griebel were battling each other for 5th and 6th position in Lake Placid. 7/10 up now. It's a much better run though from Sophia. Let's hope she can hold it together.
Yeah, really nice exit of Kreisel there. Nice line out of 9. A little bit of a skid, but the line is good.
Mind you, if it had been much worse, I think she might have been on suicide watch for the next 24 hours. And this is what we should have expected. She's over a second clear of the field. 1.4 seconds in front of Savannah Graybill. Well, that underlines what a wretched ride Savannah Graybill had both trips down, and how bad Sophia Griebel was first time down as well.
Yeah, much better run by Sophia. A few problems maybe at the top of the track, but the middle section was good and the bottom was good as well. Looking much more composed through the labyrinth than the bottom of the track.
3/10 quicker, not enough to put her anywhere near the top 6, maybe not even the top 10, but at least it was better.
Yeah, she might well pick up a few spots here and spend some time in the leader's box. The start is so important here in Eagles. You really need a strong start to get a good finish, and she gets onto the sled, relaxes straight away. Exit of corner 9 here was good. Like, it's a tricky corner in skeleton to do well, and she skids a little bit, but it's not too bad. She doesn't cross the track and hit the left-hand wall or flop off.
4th in World Cup points, rookie season, Sophia Griebel. A little bit more snow coming down now for Joska Le Conté in the Netherlands. Day job is as a policy decider for the Dutch Motorcycle Federation. Brand new Bromley sled in the second half of the season.
Bit of a rough exit out of 2 there, just tapping the wall before she went into 3. And the top of the track here is, in skeleton terms, is so slow. You're still going relatively fast, but in skeleton terms, this is a slow track. And at the top of the track, you really need to just relax and be one with the sled and allow it to run. Late looking line coming into A, that's going to make it difficult.
And she was getting so close as well to Sophia Griebel, the race leader. She had better speed, she still has better speed. She could go into the green here. Hold it together, 1:19.2, just a little behind. Very close, this is going to be down to the 100th of a second at the line. How does she cross the line? 400s back. Well, that was a good run from Joska Le Conté. She's really starting to get to grips with this Bromley sled now.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you get a new sled. You have to relearn your stairs and relearn tracks, and she's had some good results on this sled so far, so she obviously likes it a lot, but more experience on the sled is definitely going to pay off for her. See her coming out of Kreisel here, and head just pops up, and she starts tracking to the right, and you really want to stay in a straight line and go straight and early into corner 8. She does well in corner 9 to get the exit that she did after the late entrance, and crosses over and just touches that left wall a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Well, just 400s behind Sophia Griebel, with the backup that the German team have compared to the tiny Dutch operation. That's a pretty good run. 3rd start of the day now for Jane Channell of Canada. She hit a track worker's broom on her first getaway, had a rerun, and instead of being 4300s back, she ended up a long way further adrift, over 0.6 of a second back. It was a very disappointing second run, Ben.
Yeah, very dramatic morning for Jane. It's the first time I've ever seen someone in a race hit a broom.
Well, track workers will be definitely on their toes after that, because it's one thing, a skeleton slider almost clipping a track worker. You do not want to be in a track when the 4 men are on their way down. Of course, you get a lot more noise warning here at the rumble of the ice, with the 4-man sled coming down 690 kilos, but they are not to be trifled with. Well, Jane Channell then, 5:38 getaway, second fastest, only 500s, and that was in her second start as well, behind Marina Gilardoni, the fastest starter in the field. I mean, that is one of her great advantages, Jane, is that she is so unbelievably fast.
Yeah, and this is Jane's first season in the World Cup, and she's a great athlete, so fast at the start, and so she's going to have more experience in the next coming years on tracks, and she's going to get better and better and faster and faster.
She may be the world's fastest sprinting accountant. I don't know who she works for, but boy, they've got some talent in their office. 5:45 getaway, just a little slower, but it is her 3rd sprint of the morning.
And that's tough, like having to race 3 times in one race. Our races are always 2 heat races, apart from the World Championships, which is held over 2 days, and to do 3 runs in one morning, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's a tough Sunday morning.
Let's hope that this final run will be water.
Head comes up a little bit and just touches the wall a little bit on the exit of Kreisel.
3700's the lead.
Nice line down the 9, the head's a little bit high.
Speed dropping away, 97.5. Fastest, 98.5. Kilometre now down. But the lead will be there for Channell, 1400ths of a second. She takes it away from Sophia Griebel. So a Canadian girl leads the field on what has been a very busy early morning.
You can see the pads there. They put the pads in the finish so you can crash into them and stop after the finish line. Jane had a pretty good run. A little bit of a hit here coming out of Kreisel, and her head pops up. You really want to stay in an aerodynamic position and keep that head as close to the ice as possible and stay away from the walls.
Channell, the leader, from Sophia Griebel, who'll drop down the World Cup rankings. Svetlana Vassilieva of Russia. 6 of our starters in this second and deciding heat of the European Skeleton Women's Championships. Snow Eagles in Austria. Martin Haven and Ben Sanford watching this Russian get underway. And Ben, she was completely lost yesterday, couldn't find any pace. And today, although her teammates are faring much better, it seems she's in the same position.
Yeah, and it started to snow a lot outside. The snow is really coming down now, and so that's going to maybe slow down the track a little bit and make it more difficult for the athletes to come.
Well, what that might do is tighten up the field even more and give us an even more greater grandstand finish. What it might do, if it really starts to arrive, is revert to a one-heat race.
Svetlana taking the late line into Kreisel, using her toe on the exit there, just trying to get the line that she wants into turn 8.
Well, Russia got 3 World Cup spots. We've had 7 different sliders so far this season in the team.
Nice exit of 10. Nice and calm through the labyrinth. Which is behind.
Yep, and going further behind, the speed is just dropping away. Drops to 4th place behind Sophia Griebel, Joska Le Conté, and leader Channell. And
a bit of a rough crash into the pads, just jamming her against that concrete wall there.
0.2 worse than her first run.
So important in Eagles to have a good push and get that momentum from the start. You need a bit of aggression at the start, push the sled off the block, and then relax into the sled as soon as you land on it. Exit of 9 here, just struggling to keep the sled in a straight line. You can see the sled just skidding sideways a little bit, and she does a good job there of correcting it and keeping it straight.
Didn't see it leaving tracks in the snow, so the straights are still relatively clear, but Vassilieva will be very happy to see this track in her rearview mirror. What about Lynette Prediger? 18th fastest starter, 13th on the run. She needs a few more meters of ice, but if the snow arrives, it's not likely to have too much of an effect on her run.
Yeah, Lynette's a very good slider, and so she's going to lose a little bit of time here at the start, but she's going to try and gain that back up as she slides down the track.
Her speeds were good lower down the track. Some of the fastest we saw.
2900ths behind at the moment, but I think she'll probably be a little bit more behind in the next split, and then she's going to start picking up spots later on. Half a second behind now, but the bottom of the track is where she's going to pick up that time.
She was tied for 13th with Svetlana Vassilieva, only 200ths faster than Channell, her teammate. This is another classic inter-team rivalry here, trying to be not just the best in the world, but at least best Canadian.
Yeah, she didn't have a very good exit of Kreisel there, but she's done really well to save that through 8 and 9. Sideways a little bit out of corner 10. Not looking so comfortable this run.
Kilometre an hour quicker than her teammate though. Is she going to catch her? She's not. 3800's back. Yikes.
Yeah, Lynette just didn't really seem to be in the zone there. Just wasn't looking so comfortable on the sled. Her lines coming out of Kreisel weren't as good.
Quarter of a second slower on that run than her first.
Lynette here comes out of Kreisel and she just starts tracking to the right. Her head comes way up, looking for that line into corner 8. Again here, coming out of corner 9, so important to be clean there, and she does well in corner 9 to actually get that exit because she went in quite late.
Jane Channell of Canada leads from Sophia Griebel. Lynette Prediger coming across the line in 5th position. We have a dozen sliders still to come. There is your race leader. Kind of topsy-turvy day for Jane Channell. Track workers consistently sweeping. It's going to be a long day for them as well. They were here long before dawn rather, at 6 a.m. 2 races on the Sunday, after 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday. And a snow day is always good for the kids, but not great for the track workers. Raphael Meyer and a few more of the Austrians there on the side of the track. It'll be a long wait for Janine Flock to come down. And there's Judith Yarnold, Lizzy's mum. So say hello to St Michael's Prep School in Otford, where she works and where Lizzy went to school. Clive's down there with the tash and the hat, although he's in mufti today. The traditional hat is hidden because his ears got cold yesterday. Annie O'Shea of the USA from Port Jefferson Station, New York, jiggling away on the block Ben Sanford to keep that heat in the muscles. Because although she's got the coat on, of course, the ones that do all the work, the legs, aren't keeping that warm in that micro layer of lycra.
Yeah, the lycra speed suit is definitely not going to keep you warm at all. As soon as you take that jacket off, you're just cooling down. You don't feel the cold when you're sliding down the track as a skeleton athlete, but when you're standing at the start and when you cross the finish line, you get cold very quickly.
I never understood that. It's -5, you're doing 75 miles an hour, wearing less than your underwear. How is it you don't get cold?
Because you're so aerodynamic that the air's not even touching you.
Ben Sanford is prime full of it today, boys and girls. 86 kilometers an hour, 1500s back. Well, just a little slow on speed compared to Jane Channell, the race leader.
Nice line out of Kreisel, looking good through 8-9.
This was a tight group of athletes. She was only 0.04 of a second quicker than Jane in the first heat.
Yes, such a tight race in the second heat today.
Little better speed, but not enough.
Looking good through the labyrinth.
Comes up 1800 shy. Jane Channell stays in the lead. Well, maybe now she's getting a little bit of payback after those 2 runs in the first heat.
Yeah, you really have to feel sorry for Jane. Like, just hitting the broom like she did. Like, there shouldn't be a broom in the track, and then taking a second heat, and the second heat is slower than the first heat, and such an unfortunate day. So yeah, maybe a little bit of payback for Jane, just spending some time in the leader's box now. But Annie's a good athlete, good start, just comes out of the groove there, and it sends her to the right. The groove is there, so you can push the sled in a straight line, and then as soon as the 50 meters is up, the groove is done, and she comes out of corner 9. Like, you can see the chin nice and close to the ice. You see her eyes pop up and look into corner 10.
There's your race leader, Jane Channell with Annie O'Shea. So Channell holds on. Next sled, Lelde Priedulena of Latvia, only 900s faster. So again, we're in that tight Eagles grouping. Well, here is our Latvian slider. Second youngest athlete in the field. She just turned 21 from Sigulda, and already an Olympian. We saw Marta Sukors triumphant in the men's race yesterday. We saw Oskars Melbardis in the silver medal position in the 2-man race. He'll go again in the 4-man race this morning. Latvia, for a tiny nation, punching way above their weight in ice sliding.
Yeah, they sure do. Almost like the sliding sport's becoming the national sport in Latvia. Lelde at only 21, she's got so many years of sliding ahead of her, and she'll get better and better. Takes that middle line into Kreisel. Through the crucial 8-9 combination. Can she get the exit of 9? Yeah, that's a nice exit of 9. Through 10, fastest part of the track, coming out of 10 into the labyrinth.
Slowest speeds we've seen, apart from Savannah Graybill, who almost crashed off corner 9. She drops 5 spots. Wow. Well, Well, she was only 900ths in front of Jane Channell. She's now 3/10 back. So that was a disappointing second run.
But it also shows what a good run that Jane had. And Jane pushed well at the start and slid well and had a good time at the bottom of the track. Coming through the 8-9 combination, crucial to get into 9 and get a little bit of height early and allow the sled to run around the corner and then time the exit steer. You see her just doesn't quite have the shoulders down there, and this is the braking stretch, and you cross the finish line, the track's done for you, and then you hit the pads and it's the most dangerous part of the track and just getting jammed against the concrete wall there.
One of the youngest athletes on tour. She's also the lightest, 57 kilos. Quite tiny. Elena Nikitina rivaling her in terms of vertically challenged. However, she's a little bit more muscular and powerful, the 22-year-old. 2013's Junior World Champion. She's had lots of success on this Igls track, but today only in 10th place after the first heat.
Yeah, and she has to be disappointed with how yesterday and today has gone. Really good athlete, fast at the start, but just struggling down the track. She just doesn't have the times this weekend.
That is the fastest speed we've seen out of the first speed track so far. Is she going to turn this around? All three Russian women struggled yesterday. I talked to Coach Willy Schneider over dinner last night. I said, what was going on? He said, you tell me.
It's a very early line into Kreisel, but it's worked for her on the exit. Nice exit of Kreisel. Nice line coming into 9. Will she get the exit? Yeah, really nice exit of 9. Nice smooth line coming into 10.
Speed is dropping away, though. We've seen 98s. She should hold on to the lead from Jane Channell. Oh, hits the wall as she ping-pongs across the line, but she does take the lead. 55.01, 54.94 in the first heat, so 600ths of a second worse.
Crashes into the pads there and rolls off the sled.
The least gainly part of the sport.
Great athlete at its start. Really nice final step before she loads onto the sled. Gets into position really quickly.
And again, just 22, so much left in development.
And you see her hitting the wall there after the finish line, though, so it hasn't cost her any time. A lot of the athletes want to cross the finish line as close to that left wall as possible, so they're actually going to be in corner 14 steering into the left wall.
You've got to take the pain with the pleasure there, don't you? Hit the wall hard, it hits you back. Elena Nikitina of Russia leads from Jane Channell and Sophia Griebel. 10 sleds down, 9 still to come in the European Championships here in Igls in Austria. There is Marion Thies watching up at the top of the track, now retired from skeleton sliding. And she was one of those athletes who never had a big start, but always found speed where everybody else was losing it. Real ability to keep the pace on the sled lower down the track was her outstanding advantage. 9 sleds to go here in the European Championships at Igls at Austria. Race 6 of the Viessmann FIBT Women's Skeleton World Cup. Anja Huber, 4-time European champion on the block. Now Anja Huber-Selbach, 2008 World Champion in her final season. Already over 80 World Cup starts under her belt. She'll retire just shy of her 90th race. Ben Sanford, how many did you do? Do you know?
I have absolutely no idea. I was actually going to ask you how you worked out that she did 80 races.
She told me.
I better go away and add up mine then.
2 years ago in St. Moritz, she said, I'm the old woman, I'm 30, I've done over 70 races. So we're now into over 80 races. So she knew. But yeah, that's... And again, you know, she's going to retire. I don't imagine she's going to leave for long. I think she'll be around and about.
Yeah, Anja's been a great ambassador for the sport over the years, and she's won medals in every competition. She's won here in Igls before, and she's such a good slider, such a good athlete.
German Luge's loss, easy for me to say, was Skeleton's gain for their country, because she's been such a great winner of races and medals.
Yeah, and it's going to be a loss for the sliding sports when she retires at the end of the season.
Hugely emotional podium finish in her last race on her home track in Königssee, Bavaria. Now she's just 100th behind, speed the same as the leader, Elena Nikitina.
Looking good through the middle section of the track at the moment. A little bit of a skid there coming out of corner 9 and going into 10.
Speed's good enough. She needs 119s, all 118.5, only the same as Nikitina. Going to be very close at the line. 300s. Can she hold the lead? She does. Opens it up a fraction. Slide, in fact, exactly the same time as Nikitina. So she survives on her 700s first round advantage. Well, smiles back, but this is her last trip ever down the track at Igls.
Yeah, nice run by Anja, and coming out of corner 9 here, so important to get the exit of 9. Just sliding off the corner a little bit, but her head's down. The right shoulder's bobbing up and down a little bit with the ice is a little bit bumpy here in Igls, so you'll see the athlete's bouncing a little bit, but she gets a decent line into corner 10, and it's good enough to keep her in the lead.
Just rubbing her right hip as she walked in past us. Next up, Mazilu of Romania. Boy, what a weekend this woman is having. Yesterday, her best ever World Cup result in her career, 11th place. Previous week in St. Moritz, 15th, her best ever. Now she lies in 8th place, and she's got to be aiming at a top 6 finish.
I shouldn't be biased, but I really want Maria to get a top 10 result today.
Well, listen, this sport is all about the David versus Goliath, or whatever the female equivalent is. The minor nations go up against such behemoths like the Germans and the Russians, to a degree the Americans as well, and formerly the Canadians. And, you know, the guys we see at the track from Romania, that's pretty much what there is. They do such a great job.
Just sliding well, a little bit of a mistake at the top of the track, but touching the wall there out of Kreisel.
Good starter and so confident now. Great exit. 97, slower than Anja Huber, so the gap is coming right down. 1:18.0, just a little slower than the German girl. But to lose a spot to a former world champion is no disgrace. She drops a couple, but that will leave her with 7 to go in third. 10th place. Well, another top 10 finish. And that would have been definitely their target for the season. Get into the top 10. So she'll be disappointed not to hold on to that top 8, though.
Yeah, she will be. A little bit loose in some parts of the track, but that's a little bit how Maria slides. She doesn't always have perfect lines, but she's trying to... She knows that she's going to be making mistakes, and she just doesn't try and overcorrect things. And coming out of Kreisel, they're just touching that left-hand wall and heading into corner 8.
Goes to offer her congratulations to Anja Huber on beating her. Next up, Marina Gilardoni of Switzerland, fastest starter. But she has the track record at 5:25. She was actually outstarted in the first heat. There's your leader, Anja Huber Selbach. Outstarted by Laura Deas in heat 1. 5:38 getaway. She is capable of going 1500s quicker. Can she do it in this run?
She had a really long wait on the starting line in the first run.
5:33 ties the fastest start of Laura Deas. She did. She was stood there for 2 or 3 minutes waiting for the track to be swept. I'm sure that took a little bit of the edge off her speed.
Getting really good through the top of the track. She had a really good result yesterday. Looking nice and comfortable on the sled, nice and relaxed.
She carries speed into the corners, especially at the top of the track, that almost nobody else in the field does because of her starts.
Still looking for her first World Cup podium finish. Steering a lot in Kreisel there on the exit.
86.6 top speed, 98.1, second only to Anja Huber Selbach.
So important through the bottom of the track to just be relaxed and allow the sled to run.
Speed's getting away a little, but she's going to lead at the line by a big margin. 3,200 in front of Anja Huber Selbach. That puts the smile on coach Mickey Grunberger's face. Austrian slider, he raced skeleton for his nation for many years.
I think world champion in 1990 in Königssee. And a really good run by Marina.
Yeah.
She was really able to transfer the advantage that she has at the start into the track and maintain that speed. So fast at the start, that final step is so important to get a little bit of extra power as you load into the sled.
Former junior world champion in bobsledding And again, Swiss bobsled's loss is Mickey Grunberger and Swiss Skeleton's gain, because she has got so much power and so much potential. They're gradually releasing from her. Anja Huber about making the last moments in the leaders box count, keeping Marina out. They are, they're bitter rivals.
Yeah, bitter, yeah.
But only when they're lying down. When they're off the sled, the greatest of friends, the girls in this camp. Marina Gilardoni leads, 6 to go here. And our European champion from 2014, Janine Flock, next to go.
Hat jetzt dann Janine Flock eine super gekehrte Bahn und die will ja noch weiter nach vorne. 30 Sekunden.
The flag of the Tyrol, our local region. Down there, Janine Flock's family and her mum and dad. And a lot of Austrian expectations on the shoulders of this young woman. Bronze medalist yesterday in the first of our weekend's races. And that gave her the yellow vest of the World Cup leader. She took it away by 1 point from Tina Hermann. She's the defending European champion. 25-year-old from Innsbruck. Started racing on this track at the age of 13. Samaritz, the first Austrian woman ever to win a World Cup skeleton race.
And a big race today, European Championships. It's her home track. She has a chance to win a medal on her home track for the European Championships. World Championships coming up here next year.
Yep, 40th anniversary of the 76 Winter Games will be marked by the World Champs next year. 5:48 getaway.
Janine knows this track so well. Her coach Martin Riddle knows this track so well. Hundreds and hundreds of runs.
I'm going to say that again, 5:48. Her first up was 5:62. Wow.
That's a really big difference.
What was going on in run 1? 48.4 speed, 86.8, fastest we've seen so far.
Really nice exit of Kreisel. Nice line into 9, nice and early on the corner.
1800s off the leader in the first heat. 99.2, best speed we've seen so far. Same as her first heat. She had 120.7, 120.7. First run, 54.70, 54.44. That is a big result for Janine Flock. Martin Rettel is thrilled.
She has really put down a really good run. She's challenging for medals now.
What happened to her at the start in the first heat? 5:62? She went on 5:48. Wow, that's how to respond to pressure.
Just feeling the force there.
Well, that European Championship win last year was really her coming out party. She's won her first ever World Cup race now, and she's going again. Now every week she expects to be on the podium.
Yeah, she looks so comfortable, so relaxed on the sled. Coming out of corner 9 there. 9's a tricky corner and she makes it look easy.
Wow, Janine Flock of Austria, what a run. 54.4 would have left her as the leader in the first round. Rose McGrandle of Great Britain tied to the 100th of a second with teammate Laura Deas, the second of 6 women looking for a medal here, covered by less than 2/10. 5:42, she too found a little extra from her first start of 5:44.
Rose is a good athlete, good slider. Looking for her first podium, and as soon as she gets that first podium, you have the feeling that she's just going to be up in the top 3 constantly. Nice lines through the top of the track. 4.5, going to set you up for Kreisel. Takes a late line into Kreisel.
87.2, fastest we've seen, much quicker than her first run.
A little bit of a tap there coming out of Kreisel, but gets early onto 9.
She'll be into 99 kilometers an hour, same as Janine Flock. 98.8 is drifting away a little.
Nice line through 10 into the labyrinth.
Only 100 in front, 120.2. Flock was quicker and is going to stay in the leader's box. Rose McGrandle slips by 1 spot. Janine Flock stays in the leader's box. And it's so tight between these athletes.
Oh, it's crazy in Igls how tight the races are. Fraction of a second.
1300's quicker than her first run, but not enough to take the lead away from Janine Flock.
Rose here in Kreisel. You can see the blue line. She's above the blue lines. Just comes out of Kreisel, and this is probably where she lost it. She just takes that hit on the left-hand side, and it sends her into a little bit of a skid, and that's a 1/10 of a second right there.
Janine Flock leads, 4 to go. There is your race leader. There is your World Cup leader for Austria. Janine Flock, the local heroine. 4 sleds to go. Laura Deas tied to the 100th of a second with teammate Rose McGrandle after the first heat. 800ths out of the medals. She has taken a silver medal in Calgary. She has taken a bronze medal in St. Moritz. Can she get back onto the podium here in Igls? 5:32, fastest start of the competition again.
Really good start from Laura. Looks so compact and so strong in the push. Nice line from 3 into 4. Looking comfortable and relaxed on the sled.
Huge speed from this 26-year-old Welsh girl. 86.7. She's slower than her teammate Rose McGrandle and scraping all the way through the corner there, Ben.
Yeah, that sounded like a lot of steering in Kreisel, or maybe the helmet on the ice.
Looks like the helmet, not the toes. Wild on the exit. She's trying to let it fly as well. Speed's dropping, 1600s. She's behind. Janine Flock will lead. 1:15.8. Awful speed for Laura Deas. She slips 3 places, 4 places down the order.
Yeah, that was Laura just lost it through the middle section. Through Kreisel, exit of corner 9. Yeah, that's disappointing for her.
Consistency is the toughest part of this sport. It's snowing more heavily now as well, not helping.
Things can go wrong so quickly in skeleton. A lot of scratching here in Kreisel, maybe the helmet. Comes out of Kreisel. You see her head just hitting the ice as she exits. Nice exit line from Kreisel, but the exit of 9 was bad.
Janine Flock of Austria, the race leader, 3 to go. Bronze medal yesterday, the defending European champion in this European Championship race. Tina Hermann, 1 point behind Janine Flock in the World Cup. Yesterday she was the World Cup leader, today Janine is. How close is this? This is insane. 1 single point.
Yeah, this is a race within a race for the yellow bib.
And for European Championship medals. 3 sliders left. Janine Flock leads.
Germany versus Austria. That's quite the battle.
Yes, it is, isn't it? That's a great point. A 1/10 of a second faster in the first heat. That's the advantage that Tina Hermann carries into this second run. Coach Dirk Matchens, sliding skeleton himself for many years for Germany.
The coaches just hold the sled on the start line to keep it off the ice. You don't want the runners down on the ice getting cold. You want to keep them as warm as possible.
All eyes on the screen now. All the coaches at the top, whatever nation they're from, all the athletes watching what's going to happen. The European Championship medals to be decided. Austrian coaches and family down at the bottom with Janine Flock in the snow.
Tina just keeping warm on the block. Dirk just holding the sled off the ice. The snow's starting to come down a little bit more now.
There's the audible signal. The green light is on. 30 seconds to blast off from the block. She'll waste no time. This could be huge for World Cup rookie Tina Hermann. Just 22 years old, 2010 junior world champion, 5.60, 500s quicker than her first start. She knows the pressure she's under.
And she knows that she doesn't quite have the start. She knows that she's going to have to rely on her driving skills and her equipment to get down the track quickly, and she's a great driver.
Well, Marion Thies up at the top. If she can teach her anything, that's what she needs to be able to teach her. Marion never had the start of teammates like Anja Huber, but boy, could she find speed.
Really nice line out of Kreisel coming through the middle section. Can she get the exit of 9?
Stop the bleeding. The gap no longer coming down.
A bit of a skid out of 9 coming into 10.
Not as quick as Janine Flock. Janine 120.7 at the bottom. Tina Hermann 119.7. She's going to be in the red at the line and drops 3 spots. In the medals again, the European champion.
Yeah, Yeah, Tina just couldn't quite pull it together through the bottom part of the track, and that's cost her.
Janine Flock will go to Sochi as the World Cup leader.
Tina's been so consistent this season. I don't think she's finished outside the top 6. Coming around corner 9 here, and she just slides off corner 9 and skidding down the straight. It's a long straight between corner 9 and 10, and you really just want to be straight down the middle and have the runners going in a straight line. And here in corner 11, you're in the labyrinth, flat part of the track near the finish. Just too long on corner 11. You really got to get off corner 11 as quickly as possible.
Tina Hermann, 1 podium this season, never lower than 6th. This will be a 5th place finish for her at worst, but she looks downcast. So 2 to go. Who's going to win? Austria, Russia, or Great Britain? Maria Orlova, all at sea. The Russians were yesterday, but Orlova didn't race. She had the day off. She's the freshest set of legs in the field. She's 700ths off leader Lizzy Yarnold. Can she go out and win again for Russia? 5:39, big start from her. She knows she needs it.
And you can see the snow on the track. The part of the track between corner 2 and corner 4 is covered, but she's going to come out of corner 3 here, and now there's no more shades over the track, and you'll be able to see the snow.
2200s up over Janine Flock of Austria.
Nice line from 6 into 7.
Same speed as Flock, so she'll keep that leading margin.
Really nice line out of Kreisel coming into the 8-9.
Now it's coming down. Janine at 99.2 kilometers an hour, 98.3 from Maria Orlova. This will come down to the 100th of a second.
She's not going to do it.
2 kilometers an hour too slow. 300s in front. She's going to be behind at the line by 2300s. And that leaves Rose McGrandle in the medals in the European Championships. Janine Flock has 2 more minutes to wait. And Maria Orlova could not hold it at the bottom of the track.
Yeah, such tight racing. You really have to be so clean and so composed here in Igls, and any mistake is just going to cost you a couple of places.
Of all tracks, Ben, this one demands millimetre precision more than any other.
It really does. Like, the athletes know this track so well. It's not the most difficult track in the world. It's easy to get down, but it's so difficult to be fast because you really do have to be as close to perfect as possible. Maria just a little bit loose there coming out of 10, going into 11, head up a little bit.
Janine Flock, the leader. Bronze yesterday, guaranteed silver today. Now, Lizzy Yarnold from Great Britain. Are you watching in Oxford and Kent, St Michael's Prep School? Here comes the Olympic champion, 5:46 getaway. That's a 1/10 of a second better than her first start. Boy, does she know there's pressure on.
She does, and she responds to pressure so well. She's been in this position before. She's led races, she's won big races. She knows how to slide. She's looking composed, and the safe money would have to be on her.
1800s up from the first heat. 2/10 up, 87.3, a whisker quicker than Janine Flock of Austria.
Bit of a touch coming out of Kreisel, but she keeps it close to the wall and gets a good line into 8.
Janine at 99.2. Lizzy, 100 kilometers an hour, as she was in the first heat, the fastest woman on ice. 120.8 at the bottom, 120.5. It's a European Championship gold medal for the Olympic champion, Lizzy Yarnold. She takes the lead away. The final slide down the ice. Silver medal goes to Janine Flock. Bronze to Rose McGrandle. But the European champion and the Olympic champion is now Lizzy Yarnold. You saw Father Clive there, being congratulated by Andy Schmidt. Clive's there, Mum Judith. I know Charlotte, in case you'll be watching at home. I've got to say hello to Nanny Rita as well.
Well done.
Laura Deas first to congratulate her.
Lizzy is just such a great athlete and such a great ambassador for the sport of skeleton, and yeah, so much talent.
Thank you.
She makes skeleton look easy. She's so composed on the sled, and she slid really well this weekend to win yesterday and then to come back today early on a Sunday morning and win here again.
She makes it look easy and fun, and that's the secret. When the fun's not there, the easiness goes away too, right?
Absolutely. You've got to enjoy doing skeleton. It's a unique sport, and it's something that you really fall in love with. And she's so fast at the start. Had a better start in the second heat than the first heat. You can see as soon as she gets onto the sled, she just looks so composed, and she looks like she's just won with the sled. Nice lines down the track. A little bit of a touch out of Kreisel, but nice exit from 9, and so aerodynamic. And great runs today from Lizzy.
2 wins here in Igls in Austria in the same weekend, within 24 hours of each other. Lizzy Yarnold lays down another marker. And when the World Championships come here next year, there better not be very long odds on Lizzy Yarnold. Janine Flock, silver medal in the European Championships. She hands over her crown to the Olympic champion. And Rose McGrandle from Great Britain takes the bronze ahead of Maria Orlova, Tina Hermann and Marina Gilardoni. Dramatic finale to the European Championships here in Igls. Wow, drama from start to finish in this makeup race. There's her mum Judith, Clive, her dad in the background. And you saw Janine Flock's dad offering his congratulations to the European silver medalist. And last year winning the European champion, I mean, that championship was a huge day for Janine and a massive breakout for her. 2 Austrians there, Andy Schmidt, the British coach, also an Austrian skeleton slider in his time. World champion as well, I believe.
Yeah, world champion, I'm going to say in 1993.
That's a good call. I did look it up once in fact, might have been the last time we were in Igls. I had all my Austrian coaching stats on a piece of paper. Long since departed, obviously.
Yeah, the Austrian sliders were just fantastic through the 90s. I think I'm going to guess 4 world champions in the 90s and early 2000s.
Christian Auer was the name I was trying to remember all weekend. It finally came to me on the way down to the pizza joint last night. Christian Auer was the big Austrian name in the early 90s and, well, mid through the 90s, I guess.
And I probably need to mention Pepe Stasny, famous Austrian coach and sled builder here during the 80s and 90s, and passed away recently just before the beginning of the season. He had a huge impact on Austrian sliding and the skeleton sport in general. You see all the athletes today sliding on modern skeleton sleds, and his design for the skeleton sled, the rectangular shape and the way he put the sleds together, is what a lot of them are based off.
Well, with the Austrian flag from her father, there is Janine Flock. Big smile. Would have been even bigger if she could have defended her European title, but she knows she's right in the zone. She's in the mix every time she steps on the ice to win medals and to win races. And losing to the Olympic champion is certainly no disgrace. Innsbruck in Austria, the European Championships have been decided. Great Britain's Lizzy Yarnold, the Olympic champion, wins European gold from hometown girl Janine Flock. Rose McGrandle for Great Britain, European bronze medalist ahead of Maria Orlova, Tina Hermann and Marina Gilardoni. And Laura Deas slipping out of medal contention down to 7th ahead of Anja Huber. Top non-European outside the top 14, so it wasn't a great day for Canada or the US. Very strong slides from a lot of the girls here today. So, Janine Flock, yesterday second in the World Cup, today leading the World Cup as we go to the final race. Tina Hermann in second place, Lizzy Yarnold, what's the math? She is 53 points behind. Essentially, if Janine is on the podium in Sochi, she will claim the Crystal Globe for Austria. That will certainly be the first time an Austrian woman has won the season-long trophy as the World Cup champion. Wow. Now that is going to be an entertaining week next week. Well, there is your World Cup podium for race number 6. There is your European Championship podium. Bronze medalist Rose McGrandle, congratulations to her. Big congratulations, herzlichen Glückwunsch to Janine Flock of Austria. And just under a year ago, she was being crowned Olympic champion. Now she's European champion, and in 3 weeks she'll head into the World Championships. Great Britain's Lizzy Yarnold on the top step of the podium. Ben Sanford, 2 good runs yesterday, 2 great runs again today from Lizzy. She's back in fine form.
Yeah, she is fantastic form, and Lizzy just keeps on coming week after week and bringing great results and great sliding. And really composed on the track, nice lines down the track. She got the key parts of the track right. She got exit of 7, exit of 9. You get those parts right, you have a good push, you're going to be fast.
The big smile is back. It rarely goes away. She just enjoys what she's doing so much. And that is a real hallmark of somebody being on the top of their game. Well, the World Cup leader and the Olympic champion are the top two. Let's hear now from them and Rose McGrandle as we join John Morgan.
Rose, what a time for you to capture your first ever medal, a European Championship medal. Did you think you had a great second run to do this?
I did. I'm still in a bit of shock because this is completely new to me. I'm really pleased I got a medal. It's a good one to do because obviously yesterday we had the World Cup race, so I didn't perform quite as well as I wanted, so I've got a second chance. It's really good to be able to perform today. Congratulations.
Enjoy the moment. Now to Janine Flock. What a day. Your first run, not so good, but your second run blistered, the track, your home track, and still the World Cup leader with 1 to go.
Yeah, my first run, it was only the start. I was slow in the start, have technical problems, and so the run was slow. And yeah, I've done my best in the second run, and yeah, it's awesome.
Well, next week, if you finish on the podium, you win the World Cup title. Wow, Liz. Today, 2 perfect runs. You're starting to look a little bit like Martin Zadukars out here.
Well, I try and look just like myself because I'm very proud to just be who I am and try and be the best slider that I can be. You know, it doesn't matter whether I win Olympic gold or not. I'm just trying to be a better athlete. And it's been awesome support here today. I have to thank my mum and dad for coming to watch all the way from the UK. So thank you very much, mum and dad.
Congratulations, ladies. European champions.
Well, congratulations to all 3 medalists, and what a time for Rose McGrandle to be on the podium for the first time in a World Cup race. She's also a European Championship medalist. She's won races before, of course, but not at the elite level. And Lizzy Yarnold, the race winner, Janine Flock looking just as happy as she can be, and she may end up being our season-long champion. What a result that would be, and confirmation of her form. Thanks to Ben Sanford and John Morgan, thanks to the FIBT TV crew here in Austria, and thanks to you for joining us again. We'll be back a week from now with more skeleton action from Sochi in Russia. Till then, it's auf Wiedersehen and goodbye from Innsbruck in Austria.